Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us to learn more about advocating with the Coalition of Skin Diseases. Today, we're going to be talking about what to expect at the CSD Hill Day. I'm Kelly Barta. I'm the president of the coalition, and I am here with Janice Schwartz from the PC Projects. Janice, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm so glad to be here. I've never been to Hill Day before, so I'm really excited to learn a little bit more.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you, Janice. So we're just going to jump right in. This is going to be an informal discussion just to talk about some questions that you may have, just so that you feel comfortable and prepared for coming to the Hill Day event. So Janice, let's get going. Fire away with your questions.
Okay, good, because I have a few here. First of all, I'm a little nervous. Do you have any advice for me? I've never done this before.
That's absolutely natural. Most people feel nervous when they're walking into a new situation that they don't have any familiarity with. I will tell you, you really don't have anything to be nervous about. You are a human connecting to another human to tell them a really important story. So our legislators in Congress want to hear from us. That is how they know to make informed decisions about the laws that they're voting on. If they're only hearing from one side, how can they really know, what we as patients are experiencing, or really even how skin disease impacts a person's life? So we're there to connect with them, which is super important. They're there to serve us. So know that, like, be empowered. They really want to hear from you. But you don't have to be a professional. You don't need to have an education in political science to do this. We are just showing up to make a difference for the people in our community. So it's for ourselves, but it's also for everybody coming along behind. It's a really amazing opportunity, and you're going to be there with a lot of people. It'll be their first time too. So it's a great way to connect with them, but it's just a powerful collective time for us to share. These are priorities that are really affecting skin patients.
Perfect. Actually, thank you. And even as you were saying that, it reminded me, these people are just people, right? We're all just people, and we're all trying to do good for others. Well,
Yes.
With that, can you then just give me an overview of what happens on this Hill Day? I have no clue.
Sure.
Lay it all out for me.
So we're going to
get there. Yeah. Tell me what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're going to be getting there on Sunday, April 23rd. And then that evening at 6 o'clock, we'll be having a reception. So it's a time for us to get to meet each other and say hello. We'll be having hors d'oeuvres and drinks. And so it's just a time to kind of relax and connect. So nothing big and, formal that day. It's just going to really be getting into town, getting settled, and getting to know each other a little bit. So Monday morning, we'll be having breakfast there in the hotel. We're actually in the Kimpton George, and it's a really nice little boutique type hotel. So we have a space all to ourselves, which is amazing. They have an awesome connected restaurant that will be serving us breakfast in the morning. And then we're going to be doing training. So just so that you know, I'm going to jump outside of this question a second. We'll be having a prep webinar, and we'll also be having, these series of little videos for people to get ready beforehand. But the training is just to kind of refresh us Monday morning about the issues that we'll be talking about, why they're so important. And it'll just kind of be getting more into the details. So there's a really good understanding. You feel like, okay, I'm ready to do this. So that's what our training in the morning is going to be. Then we'll have lunch together. We're going to do a social event in the afternoon, just a time again to just create community, because that's super important that we have that time together and really getting to know each other. And I think there's a lot of value in just connecting with other people and sharing our stories together, because it kind of helps prepare us, right, for when we go to talk to the Hill.
Yeah, and when you say other people, you're talking about other members of the Coalition of Skin Diseases, right?
Yes. Thank you for asking that. Yeah, so there's going to be members of the coalition and other patient advocates from those groups. So it could be, like one of your members from PC Project who has an interest to come, or it could be someone who works in that organization. So yeah, these are all people in the skin community. We also will probably have someone from the American Academy of Dermatology. We have one of our groups, PEDRA, which is the Pediatric Research or Derm Research Alliance, will be there. So yeah, these are all people who really care about supporting people with a skin disease.
Wonderful.
So yes, that's who will be there. And so Monday, that's what that day will look like. Then we'll
Okay.
have dinner at the Dubliner. It's this really cool, famous Irish pub right by our hotel and by Union Station. And then just another time to be together. And then the next day we'll get up early. We'll go over to where Capitol Hill is. And I remember when I first got started in this, I thought, oh, we're going to the US Capitol, like a building, and we'll be walking around the hall and having meetings, all in one spot. No, that's
Right.
not the case. So on Capitol Hill, there are multiple buildings and you'll have to be walking from building to building to have these meetings. So that's a really important little piece of knowledge to
Okay.
know, because if you need an umbrella, that's probably a good idea to bring just in case if you're outside.
Okay.
It's good to bring comfortable shoes. I made the mistake of thinking, oh, it can't be that bad, because in my mind I was thinking one building, right? Like
Right.
halls. No, I was walking outside and I wore really high heels, and by the end of the day, I had a lot of blisters. It was not fun.
Oh, so good walking shoes.
Yeah, bring good walking shoes, or even like sometimes what I'll do is I'll bring 2 pair, and I'll bring some flats for walking, and then before I go into a meeting, I'll slip my fancy shoes on.
Well, honestly, I'm going to bring my wheelchair.
Well, there you go. That works too. And then one other little tidbit that I found out after doing this for a little bit is that there are basement hallways that go between a lot of these buildings. And in COVID, some of this stuff was shut down and there was a lot more security, but they've opened a lot back up again. So keep that in mind as well, that for some buildings, you can go be underneath them to connect. So that will be our Tuesday. Like I said, we're going to meet in the morning. We're actually going to a place that's right near Capitol Hill. It's the American Dental Association's townhouse there, which is pretty cool. We're renting that, and we'll have some snacks there, and it'll kind of be like our home base. So if you're going from building to building, you can always come back and just like relax. If you've got like an hour or something, just hang out. Or if there's a virtual meeting, sometimes offices want to do those, and you can do those virtual meetings there. At the townhouse. But
so sorry. So at this point, you're talking about we're going to kind of split up and go to our individual representatives' offices and things like that.
Yes. So the coalition works with a firm in DC who will be setting up these meetings for us. We're going to be splitting our 35 people up into groups. And then each group will go together to these different meetings that have been scheduled. So we're all going to the townhouse in the morning to kind of convene. Hopefully we'll get a picture together on the Capitol steps or something, which would be cool. And then we'll give you their schedules, and then you'll be going to those meetings. And we'll have a team leader for each group. So just know, if this is your first time, you don't have to run the meeting. You're going to have someone who's done this lots of times before do that.
Perfect.
But you will participate. So once we get to the ADA townhouse, you have your schedules, we'll go off to our meetings. And then really, like, we're hoping to plan a congressional briefing over lunch. So that will be, a time where we meet again together, and there will be a boxed lunch there, and we're hoping to show our video, our awareness video. And this is for staffers and congressmen who have the time to come and be educated about what we're there for. Yeah. So it's just a little extra, and we'll have some speakers and a panel, and just talking about why skin disease matters, why they should care about this, and really raising awareness, and just, kind of getting it on their radar and letting them know, hey, we're here. Pay attention. And then once our meetings are done in the afternoon, then everybody will go their separate ways and fly back home, ride the train, whatever you did. I will tell you that we're going to be bringing all of our luggage to the townhouse in the morning. Once we check out of the hotel, and we leave it there, and it's safe. And then we come back, grab our luggage, and then head out. So that's kind of an overview of the event.
That is fabulous. Wow. You're basically going to hold our hands and lead us through.
Yes.
Right. I mean,
and have lots of fun along the way. I mean,
it sounds like a lot of fun. So with that, I talk to me about the clothes. I'm making some good assumptions here, but tell me what, and especially the day we meet with the congressmen, women, what do we wear?
Yes. So I always like to say, when you take yourself seriously, so will someone else. So dress in a way that you would want someone to take you seriously. And obviously it's like, goes without saying, don't wear yoga pants or a baseball cap, right?
Oh, darn it.
So we're going to want to wear business casual type clothes. If you have a jacket, great, wear that,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
you don't have to do that. It's not super, super fancy. But it is, put together. So on Tuesday, that's what you want to wear. You might want to just check the weather beforehand, if it's going to be chilly or not. We're going in
Okay.
April, so that's spring. Hard to know.
Right.
Sometimes DC can be swampy, right? When it starts to get hot. But if it's not, it's beautiful. So like I
Yeah.
said, you may want to think about bringing an umbrella just in case
Hey,
for that day. But yeah, just dress,
accordingly. And the
yes,
day before, when we hang out with the CSD friends, what do we wear then?
just wear something comfortable. You can be casual. We don't need to be fancy for that. And even the night before on Sunday night is not going to be like this really cocktail, party type thing. It's just a time to connect and be
Great.
comfortable. And I know a lot of people who are dealing with skin disease, it's something to consider. You can't just wear any type of clothes. I'm a skin patient myself, and I know how uncomfortable that can be sometimes when you're having to dress a certain way. So we want to make sure everybody who is there just feels comfortable, so
Wonderful.
that you can focus on, learning what we need to learn and just being together and having a good time.
Man, it doesn't, I was going to say, it doesn't sound too bad. It actually sounds really great. I know that sounds so bad, but again, when you've never done something before, it's like, what's going to happen? You're basically making this so easy for us. Maybe I think I've got everything I wanted to know about. I think maybe the last thing is, Kelly, I'm going to just be honest. I am busy. All of us who are leading these nonprofit organizations are busy. And so to take time to travel, to come and do this is a big deal. I'm just going to tell you, why is it so important that we come, I come?
Yeah, it's so important, Janice, because we need our leaders to understand how these diseases are impacting people's lives so that they care, so that they make decisions that will improve our lives. I was shocked when I learned that 84 million people in America live with a skin disease.
Wow.
That's over a quarter of our population. I mean,
right?
Honestly, but I think with skin disease, so many of us cover it up and fit in. I know I did for most of my life. It's like, I don't want someone to know that I have a disease. So I'm going to dress, put makeup on, put myself out there, even when it hurts, because I need to fit in. Right. But because of that, skin awareness is largely misunderstood, and there's not good awareness. I know with a lot of skin diseases, like what I have, eczema, if people see that you have a rash, they think, oh, infectious disease, stay away from me, don't touch me, that sort of thing. There's a lot of stigma around it. So we have kind of been in the shadows to a large degree. And because of that, there's those frustrations about how come our disease isn't understood? How come we don't have appropriate treatments? All of these things. Well, part of it is we have to get out there and share the story. So that's one of the big reasons why we have to come and be a voice for the voiceless. Right. We are advocates as patient organizations. That is one of our big missions, right?
That's all we do. I mean, I love how you said we are the voice for our people, and that's truly what we are. Everything you're talking about with eczema, I deal with a rare skin disease. Everything you're talking about with your experience with eczema, I relate to. So it was perfect. I am actually really excited to come. Like I said, I've been a little bit nervous. I've never done it before. And I just knowing that you're going to lead us along, tell us what to do. Oh, I forgot one thing. Travel. How does the travel work?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. The coalition is going to be covering the travel expenses. We have reserved a block in the hotel. So we'll just get your name and the dates that we're covering 2 nights. If it's absolutely necessary for travel arrangements to put another night on there, we can do that, but you just need to get that approved beforehand. That we'll be giving the list of people's names to the hotel. So when you check in, they'll have your name and they'll put you to your room. Everyone needs to book their own flight or air travel or ground or whatever. You need to do that beforehand, and please keep it economy because we don't have gobs and gobs of money. Keep your receipts. Even for your like Uber, or if you take the metro or whatever, keep your receipts, and then we'll be sending a reimbursement form. And after the event, you'll just put your expenses, put the receipts, send it to us, and then we'll reimburse you for those
Okay.
costs. So nearly all of your meals, like we'll have that reception. It's not going to be a full on dinner. If you want to grab something while you're traveling, you know, to hold you over, and then we'll have those hors d'oeuvres, and then we'll have all the food covered on Monday, and then Tuesday morning breakfast, and then the lunch at the congressional briefing, and then everybody's going to be traveling out. So
Okay.
that's what those expenses will look like.
Perfect. You know what? You make it so easy for us. So easy. So
Oh,
just
well,
thank you.
That's what I'm hoping to do.
Right.
And you know,
Well,
I just want to say too, like, as far as it being such a great positive event, I can't tell you how good it feels after you hold these meetings, after you make a difference in policy, in with the people in high places who are actually, you know, signing the papers, making
right.
the laws that will change it all. It is so empowering, and it makes you feel like $1 million. So even that is a reward in itself, knowing I did something, you know, me, just, I mean,
Right.
it's just
Right.
regular people showing up, being a warm body in a room, just
Right.
opening our mouths and being honest and vulnerable. We don't have to be professionals. We don't have to be perfect. It's
Okay.
like we said in the beginning, it's a human connecting to a human to make the world
Great.
a better place. Yeah.
And I just keep having questions, and I don't want to belabor this, but
Oh,
so I'm from Utah. Will I be then talking to my people from Utah?
okay. So a lot of time we're going to try for that as much as possible.
Okay.
And that's
Okay, if
typically
it's
what
not.
you do is you meet with your member of Congress who is, you know, representing you in Washington, DC. But
Okay.
because we have a small group and we're focused on specific issues, what we're going to be doing is trying to set up a meeting with committee members who are focused on those issues
Oh,
too.
smart.
So if they
Smart.
have like a health committee, then we'll try to say, okay, there's, you know, 20 people that we have to work with. Do we have
Right.
constituents from, like, maybe there's someone from Utah on that committee? Well, then we're
Okay.
going to put you, Janice, in that meeting.
Got
So we're
it.
going to try to pair up the best we can constituents. That means that you are the one that they represent in Congress. And
Right.
meeting with them. But like I said, we're going to break up into different groups. And then we have a firm that we're working with in DC who's going to help coordinate all of that for us.
Okay. And do I need to be prepared with anything in advance before this meeting?
So what we'll be talking about in our prep webinar is you just want to have a bit of an understanding of the issues themselves, which we will
Okay.
provide for you. And it's also really, really good. I have found to write out your story beforehand and bring it with you and leave it, because
Okay.
you don't know
Oh.
how much time you'll actually have to share your story. You just never know how it's going to go. It's like a conversation, right? It's like maybe you get like kind of rabbit trailed off on one issue that they're really interested in, and you just tell like 1 minute of your story. But it's really important to share what you want to share. So take some
Okay.
time and just fit it into one page. Don't like make it a really long document.
Right.
It's great to put pictures in, because pictures speak 1,000 words. You're
Okay.
probably not going to, you know, like show them pieces of your body while you're there in the
For my
But it's-
fingernails.
yeah, but it's helpful for them to see. I have found sometimes I'll tell my story and then I show pictures, and it's like all of a sudden the lights turn on, because
Okay.
the impact of that is really powerful. So if you can write out your story ahead of time, and then even find an issue that we're going to be talking about, like we'll be going over research funding, and then there's several others that are in another video. But if one of those is something that you personally care a lot about, fit
Right.
that into your story somewhere.
Okay. Perfect.
And then talk about that while you're there in the meeting with them.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Okay, I think that was all my questions. You have been fabulous. If I
goodness.
have more, can I contact you?
Yes,
Email you with questions if I turns out that I have more?
100%. And then one of the other things we're going to do, this is the first time we're doing it this year, but we're going to do like a little mentor mentee type thing, where we're
Nice.
going to have people who've done this before, and they're going to be the team leader of their group, reach out to some of the newbies who've never done it. Yes. And have a meeting so that if more questions do come up, they can help answer that. And you have a point of contact, and now you know someone, and you know you're going to meet
Nice.
them there. And then it's just, I think will make the process even smoother.
I love it. Kelly, thank you. Thanks for just explaining all this to me. I'm excited to go. Let's go make a difference in the skin disease world.
Absolutely. I'm so excited too, Janice. It's going to be amazing.
It is.
So thanks
Thank
so
you
much
for the opportunity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for being here to share and to ask questions so that we can, help others be prepared as well. So I'll see
Right.
you in DC next month.
Yay. Okay. Thanks, Kelly.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.